Okay, guys, let's hope this is a success and you guys can read what I'm writing. I'm going to try and write legibly. Let me reorient the lamp so it's as much no shadow and all that good stuff. So here's a first problem. First problem, problem number 2. What you have is 0.48 and you're comparing it to 6 divided by 15. What you want to do is reduce this fraction so to make the division easier, since it's hard to divide 6 by 15. You can divide this by 3, top and both the bottom by 3. 6 divided by 3 is 2. 15 divided by 3 is 5. Now you have 2 divided by 5, okay? You divided the top and the bottom by 3. So now you're dividing 5 into 2. You put 2.00 because you know you're going to have extended decimals. How many times does 5 go into 20? 5 goes into 20 4 times completely. So you have 0.4. That's a discipline of the decimal place, okay? So when you subtract this, you have no remainders. So the reality is that 6 over 15 is the same thing as 2 over 5, which is the same thing as 0.40, okay? So now what you're comparing is 0.48 to 0.40, and the question is which one is bigger, okay? Now, why do I say it that way, which one is bigger? Because the way we think of it is that the open side always goes to the bigger one. The first numbers are the same, 4 and 4. Obviously 8 is bigger than 0, so this is bigger. So now we say that symbol, when it opens to this side, it always opens to the bigger one. 0.48 is greater than 0.40. Okay? That's the first problem. Okay, problem number 3. Okay? Problem number 3 is the second problem. What I have here is I'm comparing 0.75 and I'm comparing it to 7 divided by 8. So we have to know our 8 tables. I'm going to divide 7.00 is going to be divided by 8. How many times does 8 go into 70? 8 times 8 is 64. I have to know my 8 tables, right? Focus, focus, focus. Okay. 8 go into, so here we put 64, line up our decimals. That's 8 times, subtract 8. Now I have 64 minus this. I have 6, carry 0. That's 0.8. I really don't have to go any further, okay? Because I can immediately see that 0.8 is bigger than 0.75. I can go further for completion. 8 goes into 60. What's 8 times 6 is 56. Sorry, 8 times 7 is 56. So I could put 7 here. I could subtract 56 from that. Minus that is going to leave me a 4, carry 0. 8 goes into 45 times, so you put 5 up here. You minus 40 here, and that leaves me with no remainder. So what you just concluded there is that 7 over 8, or 7 divided by 8, a fraction is just division, is equal to 0.875. Now when we compare 0.875 to 0.75, which one do we think is bigger? 0.75 compared to 0.875. Well, clearly this number is bigger than the 7, so we don't have to go any further. That's why I said we could have stopped right there. So what do we say? The open side to the bigger one, okay? Number 4. Let me switch pages to make everything clear. Yes. Okay. Technical difficulties, my apologies. Okay. So let's get to number 4. Make sure that's clear. Everything's focused right here. Good, good, good. So number 4. Write it here so you can see it clearly. Number 4 is talking about 7 and 1/8, okay? And they're comparing it to 7.025. All you're looking at is the question of the 1/8. What does 1/8? Is 1/8 greater than that, okay? So you look at 1.00, because that's the 1/8, and you're dividing it by 8. A fraction is just division. How many times does 8 go into 10? One time, okay? Already I know that that's bigger, okay? Why? Because that's 0.1. Here you see a 0.0. Here you see a 7.0. This is going to be 7 and 1/8. So it's going to be 7 and 0.1, whatever the remainder is. So take 8 from here, and then you get 2. 8 from 10 is 2, carry 0. 8 goes into 20 how many times? 2 times minus 16. 8 goes, 16 from 20 is 4. Bring down another 0 because you know you can add as many zeros as you need. 8 goes into 45 times. Minus 40, and you have 0. This 0.125 is and the 7. It's not by itself. So what you're looking at really is 7.125 and the relationship with 7.025. That is what you're looking at, okay? Because this fraction becomes that. Well, which one's bigger? You see that 1 there? Of course, 1 is bigger than 0. So it opens up like that. That's how the work is done. Let's look at number 5. Number 5 is asking you to order these things from least to greatest. If that's the case, you're going to have to evaluate each and every one of them and see what's up with each one, okay? So you're going to have to do that work with all of your fractions. So let's look at number 5 now. Number 5 has 7 divided by 12. It has 0.75, and it has 5 divided by 6. We have to do the division with those two so they can turn into decimals. So we take the 7.0, 0, 0, 0, as many zeros as we want, divide it by 12. How many 12 times is 12 going to 17? 12 times 4 is 48. 12 times 5 is 60. So it goes into it 5 times minus 60. You minus that. This is 0.5. Immediately I see it's smaller than that. Do I need to go any further? I do not need to go any further. Okay? You subtract 60, you get 1, 0, 0. What's 12 12s? 12 12s is so 12 5s is 60. 12 6s is 72. 12 7s is 84. 12 8s is 96. So that's 8 times, and you have to take away 96. That's going to result in a 4. Like I say, you don't need to go any further. 12 goes into 46 times. 36, and that's going to be a remainder of 4, so it's going to start repeating that decimal. What you just found is that 7 over 12, 7 divided by 12, is 0.586 repeating. Of course, that is smaller than this, which begins with a 0.7, okay? Let's look at the 5 over 6 and do that division. 5.00 divided by 6. 6 goes into 50. 6 6s are 36. 6 7s are 42. 6 8s are 48, okay? So it goes into it 0.8 times. Immediately I know that 0.8 is bigger than this, okay? So now I subtract the 48 or the 4.8. I get 2 here. 6 goes, bring the 0 down. 6 goes into 23 times. It's a 8.3 minus 18, because 6 times 3 is 18. Now I have 2. 6 goes into 20 again. You see it's going to start repeating. So the truth is that 5 over 6 is equal to 0.833 recurring. I hope you've heard about what recurring is. So the question is, when I'm looking at this number, 0.75, and the number 0.833 recurring, remember that this is actually 7 over 12, and this is your 5 of 16 over 6, sorry. They're asking you to order it from least to greatest. Well, in this case, it's already in the order least to greatest. The smallest one is this one, starting with a 0.5. Next one is a 0.7. Next one's a 0.8. So it's already in the correct order. So it is 7 over 12, comma, oops, it's about to fall again, 0.75, comma, 5 over 6. That's how number 5 is done. Next one. Going to number 6. Number 6 gives us two things that are already in decimal form. Okay? Number 6 gives us 0.5, comma, 0.41. You already know that this one is smaller than this one. A 4 is smaller than a 5. Let's look at 3 over 5. When you have a fraction now, you have to do the division and see what it really is. So that's 3 divided by 5. How many times does 5 go into 5 times 6 is 30. So that's a 0.6 minus 30. And thankfully, we don't have to do any more division because we get a 0 remainder. So 3 over 5 we just found is really 0.6. Okay, so when we put it in order, this is the biggest one. This is the biggest one. The middle one is the smallest. So the order is 0.41, comma, 0.5, and then the last one, which is 3 over 5. And remember what it's equal to. It's really 0.6. Number 7. Let's look at number 7. Now we're looking at 3.25, comma, 3 2/5 and 3 3/8. Okay? So the 3 part is the same for all of them. What we're interested in is what comes after the decimal. So we take 2 over 5, which is 2 divided by 5. I'm looking at this one. And that's 2 divided by 5. 2 goes into 5.4 times, minus 20, and there's no remainder. So 3 2/5 from seeing this 0.4 is really just 3.4. And we can see that that has to be bigger than 3.25 because a 4 is bigger than a 2. Next one, let's take the 3 over 8. 3 over 8 is 3 divided by 8. So we take the 3 and put the 0.00s as many as we might need and divide it by 8. How many times does 8 go into 30? Because of course 8 doesn't go into 3. That's why we're looking at 30. 8 times 2 is 16. 8 times 3 is 24. So it only goes into it 3 times, and then you minus a 24. That leaves you with a 6, okay? That's a 0.3, remember. We could stop right now because a 0.3 is less than a 0.4, but bigger than a 0.2. But we'll keep going for fun, right? So we put 6 here. How many times does 8 go into 60? Well, 8 times 6 is 48.